proportional, progressive and regressive tax. So as I have discussed I have classified tax into two categories. First was the direct tax and second was the indirect tax. Now we have another classification which is proportional, progressive and regressive tax. Okay, so we have three more classification of taxes. One is proportional, second one is progressive, and the third one is regressive. Now we will discuss about each of them, and we will talk that on what basis these are classified. Okay, so these are classified on the basis of ability to pay. Ability to pay, yani ki what is the ability of the taxpayer to pay. Now suppose someone having an income of say 1000 rupees per month and someone having an income of a lakh rupees per month. Now both have different ability to pay, right? Now someone who is earning 1000 rupees per month, he or she would prefer to not pay the tax because their personal disposable income will exhaust their total income. But a person having an income of a lakh rupees, his or her personal disposable income will not exhaust their total income. So the person who is earning a lakh rupees, he or she is classifying or he or she is dividing his or her income into 3-4 categories. First one is the consumption, second one is the savings, and third one is the tax. But consider a person having only 1000 rupees of income. He cannot diversify his income into many categories. He has only one diversification, that is consumption. He will only consume whatever is earning, his consume. Consider a labor, a daily wage labor, or a rickshawala. They earn on daily basis and they spend on daily basis. Okay, so you cannot impose tax on those section of the society. You cannot say, you cannot ask them for tax, that you have to pay tax to the government directly. They cannot, because if they start paying tax, then their livelihood will become even more difficult. But we can, or the government can, impose tax on someone who is earning more than 5 lakh rupees, and each and every country have different threshold limit of income. Like in India, we have a threshold limit of 5 lakh rupees per annum. Like if someone is earning 5 lakh rupees per annum or more than that, then and only then he or she would be asked to pay tax to the government. So a person having income less than 5 lakh rupees is not supposed to pay tax. Okay, and there are even more categories where people get some, relaxation on taxation. And what are those categories? If someone is making an investment of 1 lakh rupees per annum in provident funds, if someone is making an investment of 1 lakh rupees per annum on provident fund, then he or she will not be charged on that 1 lakh rupees. If someone is having insuring his health or insuring his property, then he or she would not be asked to pay tax on that particular sum. So there are certain relaxation on taxation, but the entire idea of tax is to make sure that money from the rich section should come to the government so that the government can spend those money on the welfare and development of the poor section and the nation as a whole. Okay, so there are certain classification as to how to withdraw or how to extract maximum amount of money from the rich section of the society. As I said, that a person in having an income of 1000 rupees and a person having income of a lakh rupees, the ability to pay for both of them are very different. Okay, yes, Vineet, any question?
बोल रहे थे प्रोविडेंट फंड मतलब वही रिटायरमेंट में जो पैसे मिलते वो ना.
It's a kind of savings. It's a kind of savings. Okay, all right. So it all depends on ability to pay. So depending on that, we have proportional taxation system, we have progressive taxation system and we have regressive taxation system. So let us start with proportional taxation. Proportional taxation means a tax is proportional if the amount of tax increases with the increase in income in the same ratio, of course. Suppose my income is just a second, a lakh rupees, and the percent of tax is 10%. Okay, so what will be the amount of tax which I am supposed to give? If my income is 10 lakh rupees and rate of tax is 10%, then I am supposed to give 1 lakh rupees as tax. Now suppose my income rises to 2 lakh rupees. Okay, then what is the amount that I am supposed to give to the government? 2 lakh rupees, right? If my income rises to 3 lakh, sorry, it will be 1, 10, 100, 1000, 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 30 lakh. Okay, suppose my income is 10 lakh, then I am supposed to give 1 lakh rupees. If my income is 20 lakh, then I am supposed to give 2 lakh rupees. If my income is 30 lakh, then I am supposed to give 3 lakh rupees. So you see, every time my income is rising, my amount of tax is also rising, and it is rising in the same ratio. So this type of taxation system is known as proportional taxation system. Is it clear? बाकी लोग को समझ में आया? थे अनिशा, विनीत? Okay. Now one more thing which I want to add. As I said that the person having an income of 1000 rupees cannot pay tax directly to the government, otherwise his disposable income will fall. But the person having an income of 1000 rupees is also paying tax to the government, but he is paying it indirectly. Like a person having an income of 1000 rupees is also buying bread, and a person having an income of 10 lakh rupees is also buying bread, and the price of bread is same for both. Okay, so if person A, that is having an income of 1000 rupees, is spending 10 rupees for bread, and person B having 10 lakh rupees is also spending 10 rupees on bread, and the tax on bread is suppose 1%. And what is the 1% of 10 rupees? It is 1 rupees. So in that case, both the person A and B, both are paying 1 rupee tax to the government. So in that case, as far as indirect tax is concerned, all the citizens of India are paying tax. But when it comes to direct tax, it is only the higher income people who are going to pay the tax, not the low income people. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next system of taxation, that is progressive tax. Now, as the name suggests, progressive tax means that amount of tax which increases with the increase in income. Okay. It means that, just a second, this thing, progressive tax. A tax is called progressive when the rate of taxation increases as the taxpayer's income increases. So India undertakes progressive taxation system. Okay, if you look at the taxation system of India, you will find that it is progressive in nature. Suppose my income is 5 lakh rupees. Okay, so government is asking me to pay 5% out of my income as tax. So what will be my tax amount? It will be 25,000, right? 5% of 5 lakh is 25,000. Now suppose my income rises to 10 lakh rupees, then my tax percentage will also change. Okay, so it is something like this. Let me show you. When my income, percentage of tax, suppose my income is 5 lakh, so percentage of tax is 5%. My income rises to 10 lakh, my income is rising, and that percentage of tax is also rising, it becomes 10%. Now income rises to 20 lakh, and tax rate becomes 20%. Okay, income rises to 40 lakh, percentage become 30%, in this way. So if you look at the amount of tax for every level of income, you will find that for 5 lakh income, my tax amount is coming to be 25,000. For 10 lakh income, my tax amount is coming to be 1 lakh rupees. Okay. For 20 lakh income, my tax amount is coming to be 20% of 20% of 20 lakh is 4 lakh rupees, right? So you see, when income changes from 5 lakh to 10 lakh, so how much the income is changing? Income is changing 200%, right? It is becoming double, but the amount of tax is getting 4 times. So my income is getting doubled, but my amount of taxation is getting quadrupled, right? Is it clear? So again, in this case, my income is rising from 10 lakh to 20 lakh. So again, double, but my amount of tax is becoming 4 times. So as the amount of tax increase, amount of income increases, level of income increases, the amount of tax will also increase, but it will increase at a greater rate. Am I clear? Aisha, Anisha, Thea, clear or not?
हाँ भैया.
Okay. Regressive tax. So regressive tax is just the opposite of progressive tax. As the income increases, then the level of tax will be, amount of tax will be decreased. Okay. It means that suppose मेरा income आज 5 लाख रुपीस है, तो गवर्नमेंट मेरे को बोल रहा है 5% टैक्स दो. कल मेरा इनकम 50 लाख हो गया, गवर्नमेंट ने कहा कि 50 लाख हो चुका, सिर्फ 1% टैक्स दो. So क्या हो रहा है, मेरा इनकम बढ़ने से गवर्नमेंट ने टैक्स को रिड्यूस कर दिया. So this is regressive system of taxation. Now you tell me that in a country like India, a developing country, which type of taxation is the best? Hello?
Progressive taxes.
Progressive taxes, yes, very good answer. Progressive taxes are best in a developing country. Why? Because डेवलपिंग कंट्री में क्या चाहिए हम लोगों को? हम लोग को डेवलपिंग कंट्री में चाहिए कि कंट्री डेवलप्ड हो. द फर्स्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ अ डेवलपिंग कंट्री इज टू मेक देयर कंट्री डेवलप्ड. एंड व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय डेवलपमेंट? डेवलपमेंट का ये मतलब नहीं होता है कि some people in the country are earning lot of rupees, lot of money, and major portion of the country are suffering for even a bread, suffering for a bread. Okay, so ये हमारा डेवलपमेंट का आइडिया नहीं है. डेवलपमेंट का आइडिया क्या होना चाहिए कि each and every individual in a country should have access to the basic, requirements like water, pure water, potable water, food, electricity, health care, education. So हर एक मेंबर को ये सारा चीज मिले तो हम लोग कहते हैं कि yes, our country is a developed country. Okay, peace should be there in the country. People should not be fighting in the country. War-like situations should not be there in the country. Then we will say that yes, it's a developed country. So to make sure that these things are there in the country, government should play a crucial role. Government should impose tax on the rich people, should extract the money from there and should spend those money for the development of the nation. They should build hospitals, they should build universities, they should, like, in the very next year you are going to apply for colleges. Okay, and if I'm not wrong, most of you will go for BCom, right? Now the best college for BCom in Kolkata is Goenka College, right? You all are going to apply for Goenka College. Now yesterday Goenka College का list आया है. मेरे एक friend की बहन है, she has got 96% marks in ISC, and Goenka College की list में उसका rank आया 2186. Okay, and the number of seats in Goenka is 116. Now you see a girl getting a marks of 96% is getting a rank of 2186. गोयनका कॉलेज में उसका एडमिशन नहीं हो सकता. Now forget about गोयनका कॉलेज, there are other colleges जहाँ पे तुम्हारा 98 या 99% मार्क्स से भी एडमिशन नहीं होता है, like the Sri Ram College of Commerce and the Lady Sri Ram College in Delhi. वहाँ पे कट ऑफ लगता है 100%. सिर्फ 100% वाले स्टूडेंट्स ही वहाँ अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. इट्स द बेस्ट कॉलेज ऑफ कॉमर्स इन इंडिया. तो यहाँ पे इतना इतना मतलब कंपटीशन क्यों है? बिकॉज द नंबर ऑफ सीट्स आर वेरी लो. Now you will ask that number of seats बढ़ा दिया जाए. We should increase the number of seats, but how will they increase the number of seats? There are logistic constraints, right? The infrastructure is is not developed in that way so as to accommodate more than 116 students. So what should be the role of government in this case? Government of India should construct more and more colleges. So for that, they need more and more land. For that, they need more and more money, more and more laboratories, more and more computers, more and more teachers. So they have to appoint more teachers. They have to pay them salary. So government feels that our present government feels that कि teacher को पैसा देके क्या होगा, professors को पैसा देके क्या होगा, we should do some other thing from that money. And whereas the other countries, the western countries are doing these things. तुम जाओ किसी भी यूरोप के कंट्री में, अगर नेट पे देख लो, चाहे वो स्पेन हो चाहे फ्रांस हो, हर दूसरे लाइन पे, हर दूसरे मोहल्ले में एक कॉलेज है. और हमारे यहाँ क्या है कि एक जगह बना हुआ है कॉलेज का कि इस जगह में आपको कॉलेज मिलेगा. इट इज अ मार्केट. हम लोग इसे मार्केट में जाते हैं, यहाँ ये चीज मिलेगा. कॉलेज भी हमारे साथ वही हो चुका है कि यहाँ जाओ तुम्हें कॉलेजेस मिलेगा, कॉलेज का मार्केट है. कंट्री ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Same thing with hospitals. The number of beds in every hospital is very less. The number of ventilators are very less. The quality of sanitation is very poor in every hospital. So the amount of taxation which you are imposing on the rich people, you should extract that money in an efficient way, and you should spend the entire money. It's very crucial that you should spend the entire money for the development of the nation and not for any other purpose. Okay, so that is the requirement of any developing country, that you should develop the health infrastructure and educational infrastructure, and to do that you need a lot of money. So you should impose a high amount of tax on the rich people. And high amount of tax, by high amount of tax I mean progressive tax. Every day we get the news that today Ambani becomes the third richest person, today Ambani becomes the second richest person. Every day ये type का news हम लोग के पास आ रहा है. एशिया के first richest person मुकेश अंबानी. मुकेश अंबानी adds $8 billion to his net worth today. Okay, very good. So जिस रेट से मुकेश अंबानी अपना इनकम बढ़ा रहा है, उस रेट से गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स बढ़ाना चाहिए, सो दैट मुकेश अंबानी उतना पैसा मर के क्या करेगा, ले आके क्या करेगा, है ना. उससे अच्छा कि वो पैसा जो है वो टैक्स पे जाए, और टैक्स पे जाके फिर उसको डेवलपमेंट के लिए यूज किया जाए. अभी यहाँ पे कुछ पॉइंट्स मेरे को कुछ स्टूडेंट्स ने कहा है, मैं यही चीज कल पढ़ा रहा था college वाले students को. So they came with the point that why we should pay to the government. We should directly do something for the poor, like Salman Khan is doing, being human, or like Ambani is doing, many charitable trusts. But ये जो ट्रस्ट वाला चीज होता है, जो बीइंग ह्यूमन हुआ या कोई भी एनजीओ हुआ, ये वो लोग कोई सर्विस के लिए नहीं करते. ये उन लोग का एक ऐसा मशीन है, एनजीओ चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट, ये उनका एक ऐसा मशीन है जहां पे वो अपने सारे ब्लैक पैसों को व्हाइट करते हैं, सारा ट्रांजैक्शन को व्हाइट में दिखाते हैं. ये एक ऐसा जरिया है जिसके थ्रू वो अपना टैक्स कमाते हैं. लाइक इन इंडिया देयर इज अ रूल दैट इफ यू आर स्पेंडिंग 20% ऑफ योर इनकम फॉर चैरिटी, देन यू विल बी गिवन सम अमाउंट ऑफ रिलैक्सेशन इन योर टैक्सेशन. तो वो लोग क्या करें, इस तरह से अपना टैक्स बचा रहे हैं और कुछ नहीं. एंड द गवर्नमेंट इज आल्सो सपोर्टिंग देम, सो द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इंडिया इज नॉट टेकिंग प्लेस at the pace in which it should have taken place. Okay, so for any developing economy, progressive taxation is very important. Okay, coming to regressive taxation, which is very weird, कि अगर हमारा इनकम राइज करता है तो टैक्स कमा दो, which sounds very weird. So this type of taxation used to be there in Europe, no, before the French Revolution. ये पहले जब जब वहाँ पे मोनार्की का सिस्टम था, तब इस टाइप के टैक्स को लगाया जाता था. when they used to support capitalism, they used to give favor to the capitalist section of the society, इसलिए जानबूझ के लगाया गया था. लेकिन अभी किसी भी कंट्री में ऐसा सिस्टम तुम्हें नजर नहीं आएगा. Okay, now coming to the last type of taxation, that is the digressive taxation. Digressive taxation क्या होता है कि tax is called digressive when the rate of progression in tax does not increase in the proportion as the increase in income. मतलब टैक्स में टैक्स के जो रेट है उसमें तो इंक्रीज हो रहा है, लेकिन वो सही स्पीड में नहीं हो रहा है. फॉर एग्जांपल देखो यहाँ पे एग्जांपल बहुत अच्छा से दिया हुआ है. यू फॉलो दिस लाइन, दिस वन. For instance, if taxable income increases from 5 lakh to 10 lakh a year, the tax rate may increase from 5% to 10%. Okay, so this is the first point कि अगर मेरा income 5 lakh से 10 lakh हो रहा है, so tax 5% से 10% हो जाएगा. But if the tax rate increases from 10% to 14% as the income increases from 10 lakh to 15 lakh, so second case में क्या हो रहा है? पहले केस में जब income 5 lakh बढ़ा तो tax percent भी 5% बढ़ चुका था. दूसरे में क्या हो रहा है? अगले साल इनकम 5 लाख से जब 10 लाख हुआ, तब टैक्स का रेट बढ़ना चाहिए था 10% से 15%, तो वहां पे सिर्फ 10 से 14% बढ़ा है. तो ये जो चीज है, मतलब टैक्स का रेट बढ़ रहा है, लेकिन जिस स्पीड से बढ़ना चाहिए उस स्पीड से नहीं बढ़ रहा है, तब हम लोग उसे कहते हैं कि डिग्रेसिव टैक्सेशन सिस्टम है. ओके, नाउ just a second. Progressive tax. Now here are some advantages and disadvantages given in summary form. Now progressive taxation leads to equitable and just distribution of burden of taxes as it imposes higher tax burden on the rich. जैसे मैंने कहा progressive tax से क्या होता है कि income distribution better होता है. Progressive taxes helps in reducing inequalities of income and wealth. This is very true. It helps in reducing the inequalities. The level of richness of the rich people and the level of poverty of the poor people will get reduced by progressive system of taxation, as more and more money will flow from the rich people to the poor people. Third is progressive taxes are elastic. Okay, why elastic? Because the government can change the value or the rate of taxation anytime by just changing the amount of tax which they are collecting. So it is elastic. मतलब अगर गवर्नमेंट को लगता है कि टैक्स बढ़ा देना चाहिए तो गवर्नमेंट विल इंक्रीज द टैक्स. गवर्नमेंट को लगता है कि टैक्स कमा देना चाहिए तो गवर्नमेंट विल डिक्रीज द टैक्स. गवर्नमेंट को अगर लगता है कि अभी हमें रेवेन्यू की जरूरत है, लाइक इन केस ऑफ कोरोना पीरियड, इफ गवर्नमेंट फील्स दैट कोरोना के चीजों से लड़ने के लिए हमें बहुत पैसों की जरूरत है, तो गवर्नमेंट शुड इंक्रीज द टैक्स. बाद में जब सिचुएशन अंडर कंट्रोल हो जाएगा, देन गवर्नमेंट शुड अगेन रिड्यूस द टैक्स. So it is very elastic in nature, as it is directly in the hands of the government, because this is fiscal policy. In the very first class I said that fiscal policy are directly controlled by the government. Fourth point, it is productive because increase in income automatically brings in more revenue. So this is productive in nature. Fifth point, progressive taxes are economical as the cost of tax collection does not increase with increase in tax rate. Now this is why this is economical, because ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर हमें किसी से 10 रुपए टैक्स लेना है तो उस टैक्स को कलेक्ट करने के लिए कम पैसा खर्च होगा, या किसी से अगर 1 करोड़ रुपए टैक्स लेना है तो उसको कलेक्ट करने के लिए ज्यादा पैसा खर्च होगा. चाहे तुम 10 रुपए टैक्स कलेक्ट करो, चाहे तुम 1 करोड़ रुपए टैक्स कलेक्ट करो, टैक्स कलेक्ट करने का जो खर्चा है गवर्नमेंट का वो सेम रहना है. खर्चा मतलब इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट को सैलरी देना, इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट वालों के लिए एमिनिटीज तैयार करना, वो चीज सेम रहेगा. तो सपोज इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट है, गवर्नमेंट उसको एवरी ईयर पैसा देती है, सैलरी देती है, उसका ऑफिस में जो मेंटेनेंस है उसका खर्चा उठाती है, इसके अलावा जो पेपर वर्क होता है उस पर जो गवर्नमेंट का खर्चा आता है, ये सब खर्चा गवर्नमेंट का आता है, गवर्नमेंट को कॉस्ट इसका उठाना पड़ता है। अब इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट वालों ने एक साल में 1 करोड़ रुपए टैक्स उठाया, टैक्स कलेक्ट किया, या एक साल में 100 करोड़ रुपए टैक्स कलेक्ट किया, ये वैल्यू जितना भी हो, इससे गवर्नमेंट का जो एक्सपेंडिचर है ऑन द इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट वो चेंज नहीं होता है। सो इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट क्या चाहेगी कि हम ज्यादा से ज्यादा टैक्स कलेक्ट करें ताकि गवर्नमेंट का जो प्रॉफिट है वो इंक्रीज करेगा। व्हाट इज प्रॉफिट? रेवेन्यू माइनस कॉस्ट। So the revenue which they are earning from the income tax department is the amount of tax which the income tax department is generating from the country every year, and the cost which the government is bearing is the amount which they are paying in form of salary, maintenance of the offices, paperwork. So this cost over the income tax department is fixed, but the amount of revenue which the income tax department will generate, that is very elastic. So with progressive taxation system, the amount of revenue from tax will increase for sure, and that will be a beneficial thing for the government, because the government can generate more and more profit from that. Am I clear? Nikhil? Thea, are you there? Hello? Aisha?
है दादा।
Okay.
Hello.
Good. So this is all about taxation. Now we'll come to public expenditure, and you have to rejoin with the same link. Okay.